Tonight on the Rychnovsky Recap, final preps for the Senior Open are complete as Inverness gets set to welcome back the Superstar Seniors. A local caddy gets his big break of a lifetime, and a local lady receives the gift of life. It's an A-plus show welded together for your viewing pleasure. It's the Rychnovsky Recap, and it starts right now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Rychnovsky. It will be hard to not blame some of the best seniors in the world if they're a little tired tomorrow when they arrive at Inverness, the U.S. Senior Open.
Now, the Hardcore Sports 2011 U.S. Senior Open moment. Brought to you by ProMedica.
Now for the good stuff, right? Several golfers will arrive tomorrow and start what will amount to be 3 days of practice rounds as they work their way around the Inverness Club. Workers putting the final touches today on this magnificent course, and let me tell you, they're getting everything ready. The pros arrive tomorrow, and it looks absolutely magnificent, doesn't it? It will play more than 7,100 yards to a par 71, 34 on the front, 37 on the back. The countdown is on, and everybody is ready to go, including us here at Fox Toledo. Again, practice rounds start tomorrow. Let's take a look at some of the big names. They'll tee off at 1 and 10. Hole 1 and hole 10. These are the Thursday and Friday pairings. Mark O'Meara, Bernard Langer at 8:20. You see the times to the right. Larry Nelson, Tom Kite, Fuzzy Zeller, Peter Jacobson, Toledo native John Cook, Scott Hoke at 135. Hale Irwin, Bob Tway, Paul Azinger. What a pairing that is at 135 as well. Then Fred Funk, Jeff Sloop, and Jay Haas, 145. Tom Lehman, the leading money winner on the senior tour this year, along with Nick Price and Corey Pavin at 155. Mark Calcavecchia, Lauren Roberts, and Brad Bryant at 205. Every Saturday in July, Minyata Evans and her husband Tim host a basketball camp over at Smith Park. It's called the Early Bird Camp. It's a chance to keep kids off the street and give them something healthy and positive to do this summer. For Minyata, her calling goes well beyond basketball. You see, this heart transplant patient is lucky to be alive. Tonight, Minyata Evans is in the house with her inspirational story of love, survival, and the need and will to give back. Minyata, I appreciate you coming in tonight. Let's talk a little bit about your story, because you received a heart transplant. Why don't you fill everybody in on that and how that's really changed your life?
I received a heart transplant back in March of 2008, and it's changed my life because before I was dying, literally dying, and my whole system shut down, my whole body. It was hard for me to just get up out of bed in the morning to breathe, and I'm just glad I had the heart transplant. It saved my life. So you just felt really bad one morning and you just continually tired, or what? Well, actually I had hypertension for several years, and I had my last child, which is a son. I had him in 2004, and I thought I had pneumonia. So I went to the hospital, and they kept me. And they asked me if I ever had a cardiologist. And I was like, no, I never had a cardiologist. Well, I guess my heart, when they took the x-rays, was like globular, circle-like. It wasn't this normal shape of a fist. And so then they referred me to a cardiologist, a local cardiologist. I mean, you could have died, literally. I could have died. Yes, and then after that I received a pacemaker defibrillator, and I had that for about 1.5 years, and it went off. Well, when it went off, they told me I need to go to Cleveland Clinic and get reevaluated, see if I could put on the heart transplant list. The first time I went, they said it was a catch-22 and I wasn't sick enough. And then I went back again in 2007, and that's when they kept me and put me in intensive care after the assessment. And then finally you got your transplant in 2008? Yep, 2008 I received my heart transplant, and I was feeling great. My color came back in my skin, and a couple days before they got ready to release me, I told them I didn't feel good, I couldn't urinate, something was wrong. Well, I guess my body was rejecting new heart and also the transplant medication. So my kidney shut down. I ended up with a collapsed lung, and that began my long stay in Cleveland Clinic Hospital. I was there for 6 months.
And they got that fixed, and now you're healthy and doing well.
They got that fixed, and I'm doing well. I just have diabetes, but I can work on that myself with exercise and eating right.
Now, how has that changed your life? Because I met you through your basketball camp,
right.
The early bird basketball camp.
Right.
How has this changed your life? Because you and your husband started an organization
right.
called God's Best Creation.
Yes. Well, it started because I asked God, I said, well, if I'm able to live through this, I'll do whatever you need me to do, because he gave me such a great gift. And I said, I can help somebody else. And that was the plan. The girl that I received the heart from was 14 years old, and her name was Raven, and she loved kids. So I took that, and she inspired me because she loved kids at a young age. Sometimes you can't find people, let alone a 14-year-old child, to give their heart and soul to help others. So the goal was to be selfless instead of selfish. And so we decided to help with his knowledge of basketball and my knowledge of going to school for nursing. We put the two together. And then that's where we came up with God's Best Creation. And what we're trying to do is keep people healthy and get them off the street and things of that nature.
And the camp has been going well.
It's been going well, and we had a lovely turnout. The community accepted us, and we have sponsors all around the city of Toledo, and we're so thankful to have them.
What's it like when you're out there practicing and you see the kids having a great time?
Oh, it's fulfilling. It's very fulfilling because I remember being that young and no one pushed me to do anything, so to see them get out there and listen to the coaches and get encouraged by the coaches was a great thing.
And you coach a little too. I mean, you're out there.
I coach a little too. Actually, I like to just sit on the sideline and tell people what they're doing wrong. I got that bad, but I'm like, stop, that's a foul, this and that. So I think I want to be a ref eventually one day.
Have you always liked sports? Did you grow up playing sports?
I tried to play basketball, and I just couldn't. I wasn't fast enough. But yeah, I like sports, any kind of sports.
When you see the kids, and the kids that you're getting off the streets, and the kids that are participating in this camp, and you see them down the line 2, 3, 4 years later,
and they remember.
And they remember. Well, I guess that would be really fulfilling.
That's very fulfilling, and that's what we try to do. I remember when I was being a little child, and my aunt told me, you know, you're God's best. And I'm like, me? I'm God's best? Why would she say that to me? And it stuck with me for 37 years. And so I wanted to let those children have the feeling that I felt when somebody encouraged me and told me how good I was. You know, even though I didn't believe it, you know. So that was a special moment between I and my aunt.
Do you think about it? Do you think about your transplant every day?
I think about it every day. When I wake up and get ready to complain about something, I'm like, wait a minute. You know, a few years ago, I wasn't able to even get out of bed. So, you know, take it and just keep moving along.
Well, every Saturday morning in July.
Every Saturday morning at 8:30 to 12 noon, we have basketball from ages 7 to 17, and we're looking for eager children to come out and just join us and have fun.
Thanks for coming in, and you've got a great story, and God bless you. We wish you the best of luck with your camp.
Thank you so much for having me, Joe.
All righty, we'll hit the brakes, but this show is about to heat up to record levels. We head to Welding class at Owens next. And we're back. If you think the temperatures outside are hot, try heading to Welding class at Owens Community College, where you work with flames and heat of more than 1,200 degrees. But if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, or class in this case, as we head to Owens for this week's Fox Challenge.
Got a lot going on, Joe.
It's a busy afternoon at Owens Community College. Welding class is in session. How'd you get into welding, man?
Oh, it was a long time ago. It was, honestly, it's because all my buddies took welding.
Charles Stewart is the instructor. There's the MIG.
The MIG is a gas metal arc welding, and that's the semi-automatic process where you just squeeze a trigger.
And then there's the TIG.
It's like a one-man band where you control the arc from a torch, like a handheld laser, and you add filler rod with the other hand, and at the same time you control the amperage or the heat input with a foot pedal. That's the TIG.
Eric Brooks learned to weld back in high school.
It's actually a challenge. There's many forms of welding, many different types that you can do, so it's always a challenge. There's many things you can keep on learning.
Yeah, I know about the TIG and the MIG.
TIG and the MIG, what about the arc?
Don't know about that yet. And Chris Downs?
It can be tough, especially on days like today when it's hot outside and you're sweating all day and you're smelling like sweat. But You gotta love it. If you love it, you can do it. If you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Hey, Joe, do you think that you can weld at Owens Community College? Take the Fox Challenge.
I'm not so sure about this.
We have a lot of talented people in our welding program. They're talented because they have the fine motor skills. They could thread a needle 10 times in a row.
What's the secret?
The secret is the desire.
I'm certainly up with that.
Ready?
Strike it. Whoa!
All right.
Whoa! Whoa!
Crank that up. I'll hold the torch. You crank it
All
up.
right.
I give it about 3-4 good turns.
Oh, I went the other way.
That's all right. Now crank it up.
Crank it up.
Start
Crank
cranking.
it up.
There you go.
Crank it up.
All right, good.
Crank it up, baby.
Excellent. Excellent.
Whoa.
Now,
This is
Joe.
hot. Yes.
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 Now, right, this valve here, turn on slowly.
Off slowly?
Turn on slowly. Perfect. That's a proper flame setting right there.
All right, now what do I get to weld?
And we're going to bring this up cherry red.
Isn't it time for a dinner break yet? It's kind of hot in here.
Yeah.
My final grade, A+. Now, where's my diploma? And we're back. We're getting ready for a very busy week in the hardcore sports department, but last week had us jumping too as we rewind with Ralphie's, because upon further review... We start the week out at Inverness, where Heather Warga must keep track of more than 2,200 U.S. Senior Open volunteers. She has volunteers from more than 15 states helping out this year, some coming from as far as California. In the past few days, Heather has received more than 800 emails and countless phone calls as the volunteers get set and pick up their shirts and gear as we get closer to the tourney. And on Wednesday, that's the Ho Chin, Howard Chin, getting his team ready for the Dragon Boat practice. The Dragon Boat races in downtown Toledo on Saturday will raise money for partners in education. And on Friday, finally some good news for the Ohio State Buckeyes. After a lengthy investigation, the NCAA has found no further violations and will not charge Ohio State with failing to monitor the football team or lack of institutional control, both of which would have brought severe punishment. The Buckeyes and former head coach Jim Tressel will go in front of the NCAA Infractions Committee on August 12th.
I'm former Buckeye John Diebler, and you're watching the Rychnovsky Recap.
All right, thank you, Johnny. Johnny's showing up at a Bowser basketball camp this week back at T-Town. That's good stuff. Hopefully, he'll be able to play in the NBA this year. Of course, he was drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers. Finally tonight, imagine walking down the fairways step for step with the best senior golfers in the world and maybe, just maybe, helping one of them win the championship. Toledo's Kenny Mon will get that very opportunity. Tonight, we meet and greet an Inverness caddy taking that very big stride. Here's Howard Chin.
Kenny Mon's been an Inverness caddy for 12 years, which already sounds like a lot, but is more significant when you realize that's half his life.
You know, I love golf, so I've always been playing golf my whole life, and I thought, what better way to make money than walking around a golf course? It's my dream, you know, it'd be the ultimate. You know, walking in the ropes with all these great pros, I mean, it's every caddy's dream.
Last Friday, it was already cool enough to caddy a practice round for Masi Kuramoto, who will be in town next week for the U.S. Senior Open.
Reading greens, that's the big thing, you know, making sure I tell them the right reads, so I got to make sure I'm on my game today.
Kuramoto already has a caddy who will be with him for the tournament, but the 30-time Japanese Tour winner was clearly impressed with his Toledo practice caddy and recommended Kenny to anybody who needs him.
100%. He's a great caddy. He's a great. Yeah, he knows everything.
Apparently, word traveled quickly. Just minutes after getting off the course, Kenny received a phone call he won't soon forget. He'll be caddying at the U.S. Senior Open for Dave Baskins.
This is huge. I mean, I've been caddying for half my life, and you know, this is the dream to be caddying in a big tournament like this. So it's just awesome. It's a dream come true.
And if he helps Baskins to a tournament win,
that'd be unbelievable. I'm not even thinking about that right now. I mean, just being in the tournament is awesome, but you know, once I get out there, I'm pretty competitive, so I'm gonna be motivating him, and we're gonna be gunning for it.
If they do win it, the sky's the limit for Kenny Mon. Right now, though, it's clear he's already in the sky at an all-time high.
That'll do it for the recap. Remember, this week, the U.S. Senior Open starts. It starts on Monday. They'll play practice rounds Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then on Thursday, they start. Thursday and Friday pairings are out. The players will go off hole number 1 and hole number 10. And then they'll make a cut. The top 60 players plus the top 10 that are within 10 strokes of the lead will go on to the Saturday and Sunday. And, of course, the final round will be next week. Now, next week on the recap, we'll have a very special show dedicated exclusively to the U.S. Senior Open. Yours truly and Howard Chin will be doing that and taking care of you guys on that. Starting tomorrow night at 6:30. On through Friday at 6:30, every night live at 6:30, then back here at 10 o'clock with the best coverage of the U.S. Senior Open. 2003 it was here, 2011 it's back, and we're keeping our fingers crossed, folks, that we get the U.S. Open here in 2020. That is the next possible chance that we can get a U.S. Open. So stay with us all week long. U.S. Senior Open coverage starts tomorrow night live at 6:30 only on Fox Toledo. That's the recap. I'm Joe Rychnovsky. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. We're ready for a busy week. Have a great evening, my friends. So long.